Hi, YouTube. Welcome on in, welcome on in. Super fucking excited. We're getting started with episode number 18. I don't know where the fuck this is gonna go, but I'm excited. There's so many things to explore this whole fucking anime, man. It has me like, dude, you guys are seeing me live fucking do this. We're 3 hours in deep. We're like, in case you guys are wondering on YouTube, you guys actually get the edited down version. Like here we have full on discussions even after the anime ends, where we talk about anything and everything, theories, what's going on in my work, silly little stories, so on and so forth. What you guys get on YouTube is just like the edited version of an edited version. Yeah, and live is a little bit longer, but it's a lot more fun because you do have a live chat. Ed's wizardry, right? So, and that's my number one thing is like, this is a community. This is a supportive environment to be able to come in and chat and just have fun and dig in deep. I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. I hope you guys are practicing that self-care, whatever self-care looks like for you. And just know, even if you don't feel like you matter out there in the world, you matter to me, man. I hope you're like, I genuinely, I fucking mean that. Like, I hope that you're taking care of yourself. And if you're not taking care of yourself, I hope that you're planning to take care of yourself in the future. Better yourself. Try and live a good life. And just remember, what do you want to leave behind if you want to leave anything behind? With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go right into it. You matter to us at all, Legeru. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is he Emperor's daughter raised as a princess? Or is just the daughter of a concubine? Genuine question, chat. My mind just went like, blah, 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 wait a fucking minute. Princess, okay, making sure. What a fucking question to ask, man.
価値などないに等しくなります。目的の店はあれではないでしょうか。
And notice how she like quickly puts up the boundary again, even by just looking away, even by like, instead of just being like, is that the place that you were looking for, right? She literally is able to go ahead and break contact and like, you know, in a way that says, hey, we're moving past this. The deflection is done so nicely. And sometimes I'm going to ask this, and I love saying this, and I really do mean this. It's good to identify your autistic traits or any traits that you feel, right? Symptomology-wise, you're like, hey, you know what? I might be feeling a little down lately. I might be really hyper-fixated on Warhammer 40K, 30K, right? I might be so on and so forth. Like, it is so good to go in and identify different symptoms that you might be feeling, right? Without giving it a full-on label, because, again, the job of a doctor, of a psychologist, is to go ahead and, you know, to find a way to go ahead and fulfill that diagnosis, right? With that being said, though, identifying different symptomologies or identifying different symptoms of like, hey, the character's doing this because of this, or I'm like, you feel sad because of maybe this, maybe that, maybe something, is always interesting for self-reflection and introspection inside of that. Through this, we're seeing her deflect. And we're seeing that boundary, her create that boundary and that wall back up after he asked that deep question. So fucking interesting. A lot of Fire Emblem recently. Fire Emblem is interesting. Yeah. Change topic, withdrawal. Which comes into my next question. How many of you guys deflect whenever someone asks a question that you're uncomfortable? You either deflect or try and change topics, or you completely avoid the question, or you answer it very minimal, even though you have full-on information about it, because you're not comfortable with confrontation or with going into something that may be traumatic. A lot of people are. And it's a very common aspect out there, right? Practicing Tai Chi 24/7. I suddenly get quiet and lost of words. Do you cheer up? Oh shit. It would be hard not to. Yeah, for you, for sure. I'm a Sekiro player, ROL. Master of the Tai Chi. Saying fine when I'm terrible count. Sure, Seashell. Minimalization, absolutely. Depends on how dangerous it is. So for example, if someone were to touch on a very sensitive topic, like whatever your trauma may be, childhood, whatever, maybe something that you're not comfortable opening up on yet. Do a lot of you guys bullshit around the topic? I'll be honest, I know a lot of people out there, even therapists themselves, right, who will do like the bullshit no jutsu type thing, and they'll be like, yeah, let's talk about the narrative poetic element structures of what you're talking about in this metaphoric language. Let's use fucking imagery to talk about the narrative structures of and it's like, no, let's actually go further into this. Like, I will call out the deflection, right? And I'll be very straight up. Hey, I can tell that this is making you feel a little uncomfortable about it, right? And I don't want to explore into like the different poeticisms and whatnot out there, which it might fit for some people's styles, right? But I want to call you out on this as much as I want you to call me out whenever I would do step over a line. What is making you feel so uncomfortable that you're starting to go ahead and try and change the topic? What is making you try and build up this wall? All of a sudden, the ball is in your court. I've already called out your deflection. What do you do? I actually have the tendency to overshare. Yeah, and some people do, Ninja Maid. That's actually a really good point. Solution. I don't talk to anyone. Zebra. For a lot of people, this is where all of a sudden you have two choices. That wall instantly comes all the way back up, or that wall starts coming back down a little bit. You'll just call them rude. Depending, right? It can be rude, but it can also be a very, very alarming call out that sometimes needs to go ahead and happen. Sit there awkwardly. If you ask me what is making me uncomfortable about you, I'd be annoyed because you know it's something that's making me uncomfortable and you're doubling down. And that's the thing is in therapy, you should have confrontation. As a psychologist, your psychologist should not be your best bud, right? Your therapist should not be your best bud. They should allow you a safe and open space of an environment for you to share. But at the same time, they should keep you in a state where you feel a little anxious from time to time, where you have to share a little bit into the uncomfortable side, right? I still lie and say I'm not hiding something, which of course would be like, okay, well, whenever you feel comfortable to share, it is a safe space for you in that regard. It is always being open to go ahead and counter with that, because as long as you're acknowledging that you're deflecting at that point in time, and that sets in like, why am I deflecting? Even past the session, why did I deflect there? What made me go ahead and do this? Might be years down the line, but if you start figuring that stuff out for yourself, it's all the worth it, right? I usually stick to minimalistic answers, give enough for them to say, yeah, I just lie. Lol. Seashell. After years of therapy, I have learned to trying to bring the walls down, but I still tend to, down my emotions to my therapist. So, damn, I really need to get a psychologist if you want like the essentially the doctoral level, higher level individuals of care. Would probably be best in that regard. They do more of the psychological assessments more so than the therapist. Therapists are really, really good regardless, right? So either or tends to be okay, tends to be good.
それでは私は失礼します。
Good shit though. Hey.
ここでか。
せっかく変装したのに私が中に入ってはダメでしょ。では大丈夫。何の考えもなく言ってのけたはずだ。
The fact that she says that though says everything. It means that she literally had to go ahead and put on her mask, right? She's walking a mighty fine fucking line at the moment. And isn't that fucking terrifying? At those points in times, you have to be the best fucking actor. Here's the thing, and I want to go ahead and talk about this. Why can she be this tough with Jinshi? And why can you be this tough with friends or strangers, but not with family? What makes you that child who's so overwhelmed that's in the corner with your legs up that you feel trapped? What makes you be that individual, right, who oftentimes feels as though they're like, you can't, even as an adult, you can't put up the appropriate boundaries, even with some family members? That's a genuine question. And that's a genuine question that I'd just be asking about power dynamics in here as well. But we also have to consider culture. And that is a big thing through this, right? Culturally speaking, in this society, how important is family or clan or name or being there or whatnot? Stop asking questions that pains. I would, yeah.
今宵はお楽しみくださいませ。
Bro, she's so fucking beautiful. What the fuck? Brother. 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 Brother.
昔の夢いや赤子の頃の夢か
Brother! Brother! What the fuck, brother? I've been talking about fucking trauma time for quite a while now. Dude, here's the pinky. Here's a Shakovian pinky. Here's a Shakovian pinky. Here's a Shakovian pinky. Let's talk about it. She was a fucking baby. Guys, where's her earliest trauma then? Where is her earliest trauma then? Just saying. What is the question she's answering? Is my world safe? Children, develop a sense of trust when caregivers provide reliability, care, and affection. A lack of this will lead to mistrust, and this is often where you get the avoidant attachment. I will cry, 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 cry. Mom is not there. I have to learn that crying is not going to get me anywhere. What are attachments in that way? Who can I truly trust in that way? I have to understand that this world around me can kill me in an instant. The world being unsafe, being constantly reinforced. It's just trauma point after trauma point after trauma point. Going through 1, 2, 3, all the way through. How many developmental milestones do you think she's actually met from this? Like, how many milestones would you say she actually passed from this so far? All of them easy? I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like she's stumbling a lot through a majority of these. Like, she went through them, right? Don't get me wrong. Like, you have to go through them. But was she 100% successful in them? Probably not. The first one already, is my world safe? Guess what? As an adult, this is probably something that she's consistently asking herself. And this is probably something that you might even ask yourself without even knowing. You might have had an early childhood issue. Very, very young. And even then, today, you might wake up and you might still be all sweaty. You might still be like, yeah, I don't know if I can truly trust people. I don't know if I can open up and be vulnerable with people because I feel like they might just come through and ruin my world. I have to close off. I can't truly be myself around others. I have to put on a mask when I'm with others because if I become so vulnerable with them, can I keep my world safe in that regard? Right? And her age being challenged, even at her age being challenged. Yeah, it's something that's challenging, right? And that's the main thing, like, that has to come through with all of this, right? Because we have to talk about her environmental trauma and all of these different aspects in here. Her sister, yeah, don't get me wrong, her sisters at the brothel could step up, but the trauma is already there, Dark Thug. The trauma already happened. At a point in case where you are threatened, where something physical, like strong emotional, strong physical, strong, I hate to put it this way, even sexual abuse that may happen, you are hitting a developmental milestone that will be altered for a long time. You are hitting a developmental milestone that people regress and put into the back of their mind and try to put a fucking lid on it. But there's so much trauma in there that it keeps bubbling up. And then daily stressors and people keep growing up. And then they don't know why they're acting this way with their loved one. They're like, I know I can be a good partner, but all of this trauma in there is starting to bubble up and coming through. And they don't know why they're acting this way. They don't know why, even though they love their partner, they're not sharing with them. Or why they love their friends. They decide to go ahead and be by themselves because all this trauma is stored underneath and it's seeping out and it's calling for help. And internally, you're like, I'm feeling burnt out. I go to a job and I feel burnt out in the first couple of hours. I don't even feel safe at work. I'd rather work remotely because being in front of a bunch of people is terrifying because I don't know what people might do to me. I don't even know if people like me. I don't even know if people like me for me. And all of a sudden, these cognitive distortions start going fucking wild. And you start to create the perfect masked version of who you can be to try and keep your world safe. Woo! Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. Well, you may not remember what happened at 2, 3, or 4, but the fear and the terror stays with you. And that's the thing, is even past that, right? 2 is well done, in my opinion. 3, 4, and 5 are in decent state. But even past that, right? One of the key elements is you may bottle these emotions up subconsciously. You may not remember until way later on in your life. And you may start like realizing that some of the things, some of the actions and reactions that you do may not stem necessarily from like, oh, this happened when I was in a teenage year. That actually may have stemmed from an earlier time when something may have happened when you were just an infant and that your subconscious was taking everything in. Everything in. This is why like psychologists and therapists and so many people emphasize the developmental period between 0 and 7. And 10, if we're going to be more of a matter of fact. But 0 to 10, 0 to 7 are some of the most crucial years for a child. Oh man, sorry guys. She remembers a knife and her mother being scary. That's a lot of detail for the brain for someone that yeah, that's a fuck ton of detail. Holy shit, guys. She didn't have to bottle it up. Her world is unsafe, period. That's still repressing it, Dark Thug. That's still literally putting that layer of trauma at the very bottom, and then it's like stuffing a bunch of sand, right? Layering a bunch of sand of trauma, and then at some point in time, something happens and it shakes up the bottle where all the sand is, and all of a sudden, what might be at the bottom might come up top, and you're like, "What the fuck? I didn't have this memory beforehand. Why did this surface?" What's up, Silver Knight? Welcome on through. Holy shit, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean to get all fucking into it, but let's talk about it. The unconscious is such an interesting topic. That's yeah. We're going to touch on a lot of fucking things here. Holy fuck. I want to show this with you, and I want to use this as an example. If you've ever gone through anything like this, PSA from Ed, from Psyculturist Daddy here. If you've ever gone through any of this, it says using male privilege, but it's just privilege. You've been abused. If at any point in time you relate to anything in here, it says preventing hurt, but could be preventing him, use any pronoun you want, and yes. You have gone through some sort of abuse. I want you guys to conceptualize this, because a lot of people don't. A lot of people seem to think that abuse is only, extreme physical, extremes like, sexual advances or violence or whatnot like this. But abuse and power and control come through cycles of one thing like this. If you've ever met one single aspect in here, you've gone through some form of abuse in some time in your life. I'll be honest, I have. I have been a victim of this very straight up, right? I've been in relationships where like my partner tried to be extremely controlling, right? I was an adult that I had friends that emotionally abused me. Yeah. And that's a scary aspect, is even looking at this, reflecting on friendships and past relationships. It's like, holy fuck, dude. Like that power and control aspect was on their court, was on something that happened. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want you to consider this, right? In this world, for yourself, first off, do y'all relate to any of this? And if you do, all you have to do is put a Dorito. Put a Dorito in the chat if you want at least one of these things. Put a Dorito in the chat if at least one of these things has ever happened to you. Even a tiny bit, a smudge of it, whatnot. I'll be honest, I have. Straight up, I was sharing this. I've gone through aspects of this where people have either used some sort of privilege against me, right? Where I've been literally, I had to go to work in a particularly different neighborhood, very upper class neighborhood. And literally a cop showed up behind me of a Caucasian descent, put me in handcuffs and threw me out because I looked suspicious. And I'm like, I'm here for work. I have a client that I see here. And it's like, well, you're not, they straight up told me, well, you're not white. And I was like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Right. And it's again, a form of using privilege, right? To making others feel lower than you. What kind of plays, huh? I know. I've been in relationships with partners who are like, hey, you can only hang out with me, right? Let me go ahead and observe all of your time. Or friends that were like, you can only hang out with me, and got really jealous whenever you hung out with anybody else, right? Or they made you feel guilty. Even parents, sometimes parents overstep their boundaries and they try to make you feel guilty because you weren't caring for them, because you're not like your other brothers or sisters, because you didn't do this, because you didn't do that. Some even use intimidation or coercion or threats. Some use straight up emotional abuse, or some economic abuse, right? Some even, there's 1,001 things out there. But I wanted to go ahead and highlight this because aside from the very direct threats of being hit, sexual abuse, or any of that, there is this. There is this at play. With Maomao. Now, I know we're in a fucking heavy topic, and I know we're in a heavy topic, and I hope you guys are okay with it. Thanks for being vulnerable for those of you guys that are here and for sharing that. How much does your environment promote and or cause this? For Maomao, her environment is okay with the majority of this. That's the fucked up thing. Ugh. So like, yeah, and that's the thing, is not everyone does these things like consciously. Sometimes it just happens because of your own trauma. Hurt people, unfortunately, right? It is what it is. But the power and control when it comes to cycles like this, like kidnappers taking you to the Capitol, that was A-okay. Using coercion or threats, we've seen that that's A-okay. Using economic abuse or power, Maomao has to be sold, right? Jinchi has to come through and, you know, making her ask for money, so on and so forth. Using privilege of roles, whatnot. Minimizing, denying, and blaming, right? Using isolation tactics if need be. Oof. That's why I'm saying is the environment also plays a role in what is allowed and what isn't allowed. But when the entire environment is full of red flags and all of these things ping, holy fuck. No wonder, like, Maomao is a rare gem in this fucking world. And let's touch on the polyvagal chart and the polyvagal theory. How many of you guys know what polyvagal theory is, or what the polyvagal chart is? I'll quickly touch base on it. The polyvagal theory, especially in psychology, touches base on our vagus nerve and the impacts of our vagus nerves, right? The giant nerves that run through all, like, you know, nervous system that runs through an entire system, in terms of our psychology, right? Even before that, right? One of the key aspects to see this is, I want you guys to imagine this. Someone comes into the room just full of energy. It usually rubs off on people because we like to go ahead and like attract certain things. However, there's a key aspect through this that, like, of course, that's just through proximity. We can go into like different aspects of it. Polybagels. But like the main aspect of this is understanding the fight, flight, freeze things through this, right? So something comes through, you'll go up and down, from ventral vagal, what is safety, being able to go ahead and do certain things, to panic, fear, to disassociation. The reason I'm highlighting this is, what does Maomao do? What do we see her do even in her own internal monologues? She's not down here when she's doing her internal monologues. We see her skyrocket from here to disassociating into internal monologues, ladies and gentlemen. That hypoarousal, almost fucking instantly. That is the key element through this. Whenever Maomao is going through an extreme situation, that internal monologue where she's like disassociating even though her body is completely stable, she goes all the way to like what she would consider a life-threatening thing. Oh my God, inside she's going through whatever, and outside she's showcasing something else. That disassociation is happening, and then she comes back down quick. She deactivates it quickly to be able to go and adjust. Stuff like this happens. It's not like, oh my God, you're going to see it like in the movies or whatnot, or even in anime. Things can be quick. Other times it can be slow and painful. Important to note that. Important to note, because whenever individuals quickly jump from here all the way up to here in a moment's instinct, that means that there's something there. It might be me not enunciating it properly, but it is what it is. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. Fuck. We're 3 minutes in. We're 30 minutes in. Apologies.
あんなこと話したせいかな。
おはよう。
おはよう、親父。
Oh.
今日はどうするんだい？
別に。
特に用がないんだったら六章館に行ってくれないかい？
いいけど。
よう、マオマオ。お勤めはいいのか？
休みもらえたから。
Oh.
休みなのに結局薬屋に来てんだな。
ついでにね。それで来たわけじゃないけど。
待ちな、パイリン。その話はもういいじゃない。あら、マオマオ。
Oh.
おかえり。
Maomao, do you want to switch with someone in chat? Anybody in chat want to switch with Maomao real quick? Just for this second. There you go. Cyber sees Space Cat threw out the big hug right there. They get to go in there.
暑いよパイリン姉ちゃん。
私は寒いわ。おばばの小言ばっかりで。
話はまだ終わってないよ。さあ、どっちにするんだい？
よくわからないけど、パイリン姉ちゃんも大変そうだな。
さっさと決めちまいな。だいたいお前がいつまでも居座るから、こっちが話を取り持ってやってんだろ。
頼んでません。おばばはいつも勝手なの。
勝手とはなんだい、勝手とは。はあ？まあまあ来てたのかい？
さっきからいましたよ。
離れに行くのかしら。
Oh no no no. Why is because we've seen her there. This is what I'm talking about. How about yeah.
おはよう。
I have a
昔は
major
毛嫌い
question.
されて追い出されたけど、もうそんな元気もないか。
Why does Granny allow her to stay here? Considering Granny was so open to going ahead and, you know, selling Maomao and doing all of these fucking things like, oh, Maomao, there's so many customers. Oh, Maomao. Why does she allow, like, someone that, I hate to put it this way, that doesn't bring any profit or anything to stay there? Empathy? I'm guessing that there's some sort of favoritism. Because no, if she's willing to do this to Maomao and to, I'm pretty sure anybody else that would probably lose her fucking, you know, value in some way, shape, or form. What about her? What is her relationship to Grandma? What is her relationship to Grandma? That is where my mind is coming at. What the fuck is her relationship to Grandma? Because for Grandma to be so, I mean, to sell you, yeah, Maomao, let's go, let's sell you, right? But someone that, I hate to put it this way, doesn't have a lot of value for the house. Just leaving them there. Grandma took care of. I have a lot of questions, man. I have a lot of fucking questions.
それとも、とうに言葉も忘れたか。病が進んで、記憶もズタズタに引き裂かれてる。
Fuck.
親父の薬はよく効くけど、こうなっては気休めにもならない。それでも、与えるしか治療法がわからない。
あの客、また来てますよ。
まったく鼻が利くね。めいめいお呼びな。
六召喚は今でこそ格式ある技能だが、十数年前泥のかかった看板をかけていた時期がある。この妓女はその数年間に客を取り、不幸にも梅毒を移された。親父が六召喚を訪れた頃はちょうど病が潜伏期間に入っていたらしい。病状を伝えていれば対処もできただろうが、突然現れた元宦官の男を皆が素直に信じるはずがなかった。客を取らねば食うていけない、それが妓楼の掟だ。数年後、再び発疹が出始めると腫瘍は瞬く間に広がった。以来女は客の目の届かぬこの離れに押し込められている。使い物にならなくなった妓女がドブに投げ出されなかっただけ寛容だ。だいぶ匂いがこもってるな。香も少し焚くか。
I'm gonna be straight up with you. As a psychologist, I worry about Maomao. As a psychologist, this moment has just fucking catastrophe. Like, I'm beyond the level of fucking worry for Maomao. She has compartmentalized this in a way where she literally has taken the emotion out of the story and has logicalized it. She's so detached in her monologue. So I wonder How many compartments are there within Maomao before you reach your vulnerable self? It's amazing fucking writing. It is amazing fucking writing. She's protecting her heart. She has to. And that's the main element, Bonfire. Fuck, dude.
Noshita?
姉さんに言われて、あの変なメガネの人がいるからこっちには戻らない方がいいって。
She said this like this happens often. Wait a fucking minute. She said that like this happens often. Oh, wait a fucking minute, brother. She said that like, oh yeah, you know, like the guy with the monocle's out there again. Like, does Maomao wait? Probably we've only seen one weirdo with the monocle. That's been a fucking Jacobian gun. Maybe it's just someone else. Does Maomao hate him? Does Maomao actually know who he is and she just doesn't want to interact with him? Does she want to become avoidant because of the fear that what her ideology of him might be completely different than what is probably there? That is what I often see. Whenever I encounter individuals like this who are estranged from a parent, right, they often don't want to necessarily go ahead and see them, right? Or estranged from a lover or a caregiver or someone that they care about or someone that they should care about. The man refuses to give up. My mind is processing this as though Maomao is a client. I want you guys to go ahead and consider this. Maomao is a client. What do you guys think? Because for me, I'm putting two and two together. The opening, all of this shit, the fucking consequences, the interactions, his story with fucking Jinchi, so on and so forth. Does Maomao know him? That is the real foundational question to go ahead and ask. And if she does she not want to interact with him because she doesn't want to ruin the belief that she may have of him? Someone has to be the villain in your story at some point in time. And sometimes having a villain in your story is what allows you to keep growing and keep healing and keep trying new things to not allow yourself to ever become a villain like that. Unfortunately. This makes me wonder so much more. Is Lakan, is he actually a good guy? Is he actually like genuinely a good guy that maybe has been trying to go ahead and make connection or make amends or do something, but the world and the society and like everyone else has instilled this narrative that he is not to be fucking trusted. And that's why he's fucking desperately trying to go over to Jinchi. And even though it might seem like he's doing this 5-head move in a big way, it's a fucking play. And it's a ploy to try and get some sort of fucking connection, some sort of interaction, some sort of like, hey, you know what? I got you. I wonder how far he's fucking willing to go. Would he be willing to go ahead and stand up for Maomao if she was ever in danger? Would he be willing to put his life on the line if Maomao was ever in danger? I have so many fucking questions in regards to who he is as a person. What the fuck does it mean as a person? Like, that is the key aspects. That is the key fucking things. This episode is bringing so many fucking questions. Oh my god, brother. I feel like we're going through a fucking cooking aspects of it, right? You might very well think that, but I couldn't possibly comment. There's no good, there's no bad, but there's people. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. Shit happen, right? Oh, Ash, I'm vibrating right now. I just discover more in the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. My god, what the fuck is this show?
そっか、わかった。ここにいればあの客が来ることはない。六召喚の顧客で古い馴染みのあの男。
Bro. And she's setting up to play Go or whatever, dude. An old acquaintance, if you want to use that title. Oh, brother, I just fucking factory reset right there. Because think about it for her, right? From laying down to all of a sudden hearing that, and they sit up. And they start putting all the pieces together. Does she still... Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, brother. Okay, here's something that's gonna fuck you up, right? You guys ready? Even throughout, like, whatever they may have gone through, if Lacan is really the father of Maomao, and this is the mom of Maomao, do they still love each other despite everything that may have happened? And you think that there's a major thing of guilt that's layering in that? Do you think that there's a major thing of guilt still layering in that? Where for him, he might have not necessarily have been able to go ahead and save her, but he wants to save Maomao. Left her there? There could be 101. Well, she had late-stage neurosyphilis. Who knows what's going on in there? True. She's just a big Go fan.
顧客が来ることはない。6章間の顧客で古い馴染みのあの男。バカな女。
Oh.
お疲れ。
And she waits like a kid. Mama has what I've seen from a lot of young adults, young teenagers to young adulthood. When they've gone through a lot of trauma and a lot of shit. And they're very estranged from a parent where they close themselves off. Because aspects of them they built a lot of their world and a lot of their frustration or a lot of their equivalency of the world from a set belief system that others may have imparted on them. Man, this is rough. This is fucking rough, man. What the fuck? What the fuck, brother? Oof. Who wants to donate a hug to Maomao? Yeah, guys, donate a fucking Dorito to Maomao, because holy fuck, man. Like, in an element like that, I'm just being real with you, you know? I hate to say this, but unfortunately, a lot of parents don't know how to parent. And sometimes a lot of parents and a lot of family, it doesn't even necessarily have to be the parents. The parents might love one another, but a lot of family might be like outside family, external family might be toxic and spreading ideology that like, oh, well, your parents are doing this, your parents are doing that, when you shouldn't be privy to certain information, even as a kid. And even if that does drive you, ask yourself why. My God, I'm looking at this and I'm like the whole regression thing, the whole patiently waiting. Maomao, wow.
のお客さん、
Maybe she
もう
was
帰ったよ。
cooking.
めいめい姉ちゃんが相手してたの？
他にいないでしょ。よかった。姉さん今日は具合良さそうね。マオマオにまたあの話が来たわ。
姉ちゃんよく付き合えるね。
そう？おばばも金払いさえ良ければ何も言わないし。
ババアが私を妓女に従うのはそういうことだろうね。雇われてなければ今頃売り飛ばされてたかも。
他から見たらまたとないご縁だわよ。望み望まれを願って叶う妓女がどんだけ少ないかわかる？
ババアなら銀の重みでそんなもん蹴り飛ばすからね。
極楽行きの船賃を溜め込んでるから仕方ないわよ。
Her boat fare to heaven.
私もそろそろいい年だし、ちゃんと考えないとね。
まだみそじ前だけど、妓女としては引退の年齢だもんな。
That's retirement age?
独立すれば。
もう
I mean, fair, because at that point in time, like, number one, right, a lot of these courtesans that they're mentioning, they go up in high in price because they're still pure, right? So they're trying to go ahead and find their love of their life or whatnot. Rosette, yo, welcome on in. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yo, we're going through a whole fucking journey. We're going through a whole fucking feelers here. Now, this is data from Hillman et al. 2009. It's always been reworked, and this comes into the aspects of sexual behaviors. One of the key aspects that I want to talk about is specifically growing up in this brothel-like setting, right? Whatnot. This is what is considered to normal standards, normal society standards. Again, the bell curve we're looking at, right? I hate to put it this way, just they don't really take a lot into consideration when it comes to this. And unfortunately, they still don't, right? Everything has to follow that bell curve whenever it comes to certain studies and certain instances like that. Of course, you can study specific populations, and we'll go on further into details of that. Whenever we're looking at something like this, why do you think there's such a big instance of, specifically in their aspects of things? For our developmental period is adolescence early to adolescence late. Why do you think that sex is viewed as such a big thing here? Where all the other courtesans are necessarily going at it, right? But the ones that are able to go ahead and maintain themselves, whatnot, all of a sudden this aspect of purity is enlightened to such a point that it's like, you know, like, oh, they're worth a ton of money. They're worth everything. They're worth whatever. Why does that take place in the society where it's valued as such? Anybody? The cake is expiring. I know that there's some cultures out there where, like, after 23 or 24 or something, you're considered like the day after cake or something. So I do know that there's some societies out there where that's necessarily put in. In case you guys are, again, this is just like sexual self concepts to go ahead and understand. Christmas cake. There you go. Yeah, for some people that's what that's considered. I like to talk about this because the number one things to go ahead and mention about, right, is someplace even 20. Yeah. When we're looking at this, are people meeting the appropriate sexual milestones? Chat. Are people meeting the appropriate sexual milestones? They don't have to hit all of them, right? But at the end of the day, it's understanding that these milestones are important for that development. For Maomao specifically, where do you see the first major flag? I see her first major sexual trauma at the very first one as well. Irrecontra uf. Ladies and gentlemen, it's trauma center hitting time and time again. In the Erickson's developmental theory, the very first aspect of caregivers developing a safe world for the child, it is the major fucking issue in the stages of sexual development here by Dr. Bonk Schlertz et al. Right? Again, 2014. The very first one is the major trauma point, which is attachment. This is why, like, for example, this is why I specialize in attachment, because the way that we attach to others and the way that we care for others really does impact our fucking worldview and our narrative and 1,001 fucking things. My God. Maomao does have sisters, does have people that care about her, does have other individuals that may step up to the plate. However, once the trauma is done, the trauma is done. And once that trauma is there and she's repressed it, and as we saw her unconscious is working, I'm going to ask this question, and I hate to fucking ask it, but I'm going to do it anyway. 3, 2, 1. Does her mom blame her? She chased her away before. I mean, she was with the knife, but that doesn't necessarily mean blame. Now imagine that you're a kid. You don't know why mommy doesn't like you. You don't know why mom doesn't want to be around you. You don't know why mom grabbed the knife and tried to hurt you. You don't know why my mom is sick, but mom hates you. Mom dislikes you. You're forced to, you're adopted by another man who shows you care and compassion, who has nothing to do with you. Is your world safe? My fucking God, what a fucking story. Holy shit, dude. Parents actually kills me. It's genuinely heart-wrenching. Dude, that's what we're fucking going through at the moment. Holy shit, I wasn't expecting this type of a thing. This is just straight up like, hey, you remember your childhood? Yeah, let's go ahead and hit you up there. Let's go ahead and fucking destroy you. Let's go ahead and wreck your fucking Kokoro into 1,000 fucking pieces. If Maomao doesn't heal correctly, I hate to put it this way, she might be the type of individual that if she doesn't heal correctly, she might love passionately at first, but then she'll probably get really, really scared and end up ghosting people. That's just me being straight up. Like, individuals with avoidant attachment styles can definitely at first be like, oh my God, wait, I'm feeling like vulnerable, love, care, and then all of a sudden be like, wait, no. I'm letting people too fucking in. They're too close. I can get hurt. I'm wondering where this is going to go. I'm wondering where the fucking story is going to go. Let's go. Let's go.
もう少しだけこの仕事続けるわ。
メイメイ姉ちゃんの感情は私にはよくわからない。深く考えたくもない。もしそれが恋というものだとしたら、そんな感情はきっと私を産んだ女の体内に置いてきてしまった。
久しぶりに背中流そうか。
いいよ。
いいからいいから流しっこなんて懐かしい。
やってもらいな。
Hey,
明日からまた
yo.
しばらく帰ってこれないだろ。
サービスするんだから、
Hey,
乗客の件
yo.
も忘れないでよ。
Holy moly. Hands where we can see them. They're up. They're up. They're up.
まさか待ち合わせの店が花街のような接待をしていたとは。そんなものを買いに行ったわけじゃないのに。
Aww.
薬屋少しいいか。
Oh no.
睡蓮と飲んでくれ。変人からのお土産だ。
変人からですか？
See what I'm talking about? You see what the fuck I'm talking about? Lacan has done a multiple like prone attack. Legitimately, it's a multi-prone attack where he's gone through Jinchi. He's trying to go through the other way. He's trying to find any way that he can to try and build a fucking connection. My corazón, my fucking heart, brother. My fucking heart, as expected from a strategist. It's awkward
ありがとう
now.
ございます。
ああ、
それでは仕事に戻りますので。
あらあら。今夜は精進料理だから、シャオマオも肉や魚をつままないようにね。
Damn.
休憩中だからってお留守になりすぎちゃダメよ。
Brother, that ain't, we can tell that this story ain't based in America. Ah! Fucking flying eagle, like, ah! What you talking about, vegetarian dinner? I can't eat my steaks from my McDonald's. Nah, brother. 1 step, 2 steps back. Yeah, 1 step forward. That's the thing is, like, relapse is so very fucking common. My freedom to eat steak every day. That's all I eat, meat. I love meat in my mouth. Love a good thick gravy with it. A good thick, mashed potatoes. Good old America. Y'all fucking know it. No chicken, fried, no steaks. Yo, wait, what? Yuck. No, you don't like steak? What the fuck is a vegetarian? But no, the main regret that I'm trying to get at is, like, honestly, like, of course, I'm not a dietitian. I'm not going to get into that. That's a separate scope of work, so on and so forth. Follow whatever works best for you and your diet.
ですよね。しまった。仕事してればすぐに頭から離れると思ったんだけど。
それと、変な草を物置に隠すのもダメよ。
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
気が抜けない。
置き場所がないなら神子様にお願いして余ってる部屋を使わせてもらったら？
いえ、鬼人の住まう場所を薬棚扱いはできません。
シャオマオは気にしてないように見えて結構区切りをつけているわよね。
私は卑しい生まれの娘ですから、ここにいるのも本当に不思議な縁です。
そうね。でも尊い生まれだからといって最初から別のものだと思わないで。何がどう転がって人生どうなるかなんてわからないもの。身分だけで何でも分けるのはもったいないわ。
Sure.
そうですか。
そうよ。さてお仕事よ。お使いを頼めるかしら。
失礼します。薬をいただきに参りました。
ああ、
少し待っていろ。
Hey, yo, that's a full-on fucking network, brother. Okay, quick question time. You guys ready? How many of you guys are afraid to make your own appointments? Call the doctor and make your own appointments. Drop a Dorito if you are. Drop a Dorito if you are. If you get anxious making your own appointments or calling the doctor to try and schedule anything, drop a Dorito. Why is that? If I go in person, I have to. I'm lazy as fuck. Does that count? Sure. Anxiety can present because anxiety can, and depression can present itself as laziness, guys, as well, right? I've been putting a call off for 8 months, afraid no. Even procrastination. I follow the American formula of only going, if an arm gets amputated, right? Dude, it costs so much to go to the doctor here. Now I'd go to the hospital, just get insurance. I don't like talking on the phone. How many of you guys answer when a random phone call or you get a random phone call? You don't know the number. How many of you guys answer? Or, I was gonna say never. Majority of people are like, nope, not where I live. Always, nope, never, not, nope. Oh, you do answer. Why is that? For those of you that answer, why? And I want to go through this because Maomao is for her, this is fucking Disneyland, right? For her, going to the doctor, finding the apothecary and whatnot is her way. So the main aspect of this is, why did you become an apothecary, right? So the question is why, right? One of the key elements through this is to try and go ahead and understand. This is called a CBT breakdown, right? Or examining the evidence or being able to go ahead and break it down all the way through. This comes from understanding that Maomao is a logical thinker and a logical perspective comes all the way through. So the main thing is, why did you become an apothecary? Why, right? And a good therapist should do this with you. This is CBT, DBT. To save and help people. Why? Because no one could save mom. Why? Because it was too late. Why? Because there's not enough well-trained doctors. Why? Because specialty trained good doctors are only in court or emperor. Why? Because of the emperor's divine room. Why did you become an apothecary? To not let others go through what my mom had to pass through and prevent it from happening. Why do you self-harm? Because I want to be I want to be enough to be able to prevent this. Why? Because I was never enough for mom. Why? Because I ruined mom due to her pregnancy of me. Why? Because it lowered her value and no one cared. Why? Because of societal expectations and pressures of courtesans. Why? And you just keep going all the way through. Logical. This is how you break down a logical conversation to find the looping patterns of what an apothecary is. So this fixation on becoming an apothecary in a big way, I'm wondering, and even the self-harm, if it's a big way of relieving some of the guilt, the internalized guilt that comes from society, that may come from self, that may come from a lot of, what a gut punch of whys, that may come by a lot of these aspects. I'm not supporting some of these dumb linkages. This comes from stuff that has been brought up in the anime itself. This is stuff that has been brought up in the anime itself, right? If it was right, like person to person, you would answer the why. And that is the main thing. So children are right when they ask why with everything. It's a CBT breakdown, right? And that's what I'm saying. It's a cognitive behavioral breakdown of trying to go ahead and understand where that comes from. Right, trying to fully understand what the circular reasoning may be or what it all comes down to. And even when it comes to this, seeing her sparkle, seeing her glow, and seeing this fixation, even with the self-harm that she has, if you start following this train of path, you're eventually able to lead up to the same thing. You're calling self-harm as a logical solution to not wanting to inflict pain to others. That is still self-harm. The moment that you cause harm on yourself is still self-harm, A lot of individuals seem to think, oh no, she's doing this out of greatness to help others. Yeah, she is. Might be. But she's still causing harm to herself, right? That is the key answer to that. And so they're trying to play a game. Oh, that's a lot of layers of why. Can self-harm be self-care too? Yeah. Yeah, Dark Doug. Smoking a cigarette, self-harm. Self-care for some people as well. Drinking, self-harm. This can be self-care for people as well, right? But there's layers of self-harm, right? And in situations like this, when it's like experimentation on self, comes in the question of okay, is that societally accepted self-harm, right? And that's a bad way to think about it. That's a bad way of self-care. Yep. But that's the thing is, who are we to judge what people do for self-care in that same regard? Sorry if this doesn't make any sense. I promise you, this is just a CBT breakdown. Any good therapist, any good psychologist worth their money should do this with you at some point in time, especially if you have like a deep-rooted cognitive distortion. Anyway, is there too much self-care to the point where it's... I know. I'm going back.
ヤブ医者が管理する高級の医局とは大違いだ。ここは軍部が近くて怪我人も多いから。ああ、この苦みが口の中に広がる匂い。薬棚には何が入ってるんだろう。医局中を漁りたい。いや、ダメだ。こらえろ。何やってるの？あの時の。ただ薬を待っていただけですが。
スイレイ、来ていたのか。
詰所の常備薬をいただきに。
ああ。
詰所？そういえば以前あったのも軍部の近くだったな。薬草の匂いがしたのは軍部に勤めているからか。妙に毛嫌いされてるような。
他にいるものはないか。
特にありません。
本来なら感情なんてやらなくていいのに。なんでもない。それより薬だろ。
Forget I said anything, bruh. We're all good. We're good.
何の薬だろう。キロリ。芋の粉か。人士様の薬だよな。考えてみたら人士様は不可解な点が多い。半月に一度ほど定期的に回ってくる仕事もそうだけど、前日からゆっくり湯あみをして香を焚いて出かけて、精進料理もそう。まるでみそぎだ。宦官も妻子をやれるのだろうか。高貴な人物であればおかしくないけど、それほどの男がなぜ宦官に？人士様も先の皇太后、女帝の一存で宦官にされてしまったのだろうか。
I like how even when the evidence is being presented against her here, she's still rolling with like, it's like two different sides of her, right? The logical side being like, wait a minute, all of this stuff, right? And then like the side that's trying to go in distance is like, but eunuch. That's so fucking interesting to see.
親父のように。
あの娘の養父は元宦官で医官だそうだ。
元医官に教えを受けたなら、あの知識は納得がいきますが。元宦官ですか？
Yeah, 100%, man.
そんな優秀な医官が宦官の中にいたでしょうか？
失礼するよ。
Oh, here he is. Here he is.
先日の話の続きをしましょうか。
本当に随分悪どいことをされたようですね。
失礼な。トンビには言われたくないですな。10年以上かけてようやくやり手ババアを説得したのに、横からかっさらわれた身にもなるといい。
He has spent a decade. A decade. Oh man, my fucking heart, brother. Oh, is Grandma the true villain in this story? Is Grandma the true fucking villain in this story? Yeah. As a little kid, right? Did Karetti actually own Maomao? And was she? Because she's perfectly happy selling Maomao to a fucking courtesan, or like as a courtesan, right? Oh, that's kind of fucked, bro. I'm gonna drop this here. That's kind of fucked if you think about it. Like, Granny is more than A-okay to like selling Maomao as a fucking courtesan throughout like the earlier episodes, right? but yet not willing to go ahead and so. Oh. I mean, there could be some feelings. There could be some resentment or some shit there, but oof. I'm not quite sure Granny was that serious, but why keep her around just to mess with them? Could be psychological torture. Some people are really into that. Like, especially like old and bitter people are really into just like spiting one another. Granny wanted to sell her to
ブラード返せと。
いや、いくらでも出しましょう。昔と同じ鉄は踏みたくないのでね。
嫌だと言ったら。
そう言われると何も言えませんな。あなた様に逆らえるものなど片手の指ほども存在しない。
やはり俺の正体に気づいている。
ただ娘がどう
And he fucking confirms it! He fucking confirms it, brother. The way he fucking drops that nuke fucking dropped, brother. Holy fuck.
思うかなのですけど。
はあ、嫌だ。つまりそういうことだ。
Oh my
認めたく
god.
ないが。
Really?
ラカンはマオマオの実の父親だ。
娘にそのうち会いに行くと伝えていただけますか？では。
Fuck, dude. Fuck.
薬や。
Careful now. Careful. You just had this interaction with him. The last thing you want to do is go ahead and overstep another fucking boundary and say something you shouldn't, or try and be coy about it. Just fucking let it be. Hey, Apothecary, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Have a great fucking day. I'll catch you later. The whole, like, careful.
今度お前に会いたいという官がいるのだが。
Oh, okay. Nice. That's actually a really good response. That's a really good way of just fucking layering shit.
どんな方ですか？
前から話している。
No!
名は
No!
ラカンという。
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Silent jump scare.
どうにか断っておく。
ありがとうございます。
Oh! But my thing is, if you were to show up in front of her, what would you do? Would she just stay silent? Or would she fucking tell him something? I have a feeling that she's the type of individual that would just fucking disassociate, not know what to do. I don't think she's even prepped mentally to be able to go ahead and like address him. Oh my god, dude, my fucking heart just like, that was a fucking silent jump scare and a half.
仕事に戻りますので。
あんな顔は初めて見た。もう二度と見たくない。
はあ、やっぱり気づかれてたか。
Now a good jump through the L word too.
この匂い。
薬草畑だ。そこにも、そこにも、あそこにも。
またあなたなの？
Hey, yo.
いかん。これはどう見ても怪しすぎる。安心してください。まだ何も取ってません。
その手の汚れ、今から取ろうとしてたと認識していいかしら。別に咎めないわよ。ここは非公式な畑だし、ただイカンも知っている場所だから。
Straight jump scared you the first time you watched this? Yeah. I'm like, what the
この
fuck,
場を
bro?
任されているんですか？
さあね。 私も好きなものを植えさせてもらっているだけ。
雑草だけを選んで抜いている。確か水霊と呼ばれていたな。人のことは言えないが、あまり活力のあふれる性格ではなさそうだ。何を植えているのですか？
よみがえりの薬。
Medicine to resurrect
それは
someone.
死者がよみがえることのできる薬。そんなものが実在するなら、喉から手が出るほど欲しい。
冗談よ。
Fucking mama, bro. Holy shit. She'd go looking for the fucking philosopher's stone or some shit, bro. Just looking at how serious mama is. Holy fuck, bro. That OST and just her interaction.
冗談。
あなた、クスシって聞いたけど
Golden.
どれほどの腕前なのかしら。
そう。
もう少し先の話だけど、ここに朝顔を植えるわ。
Dark dog. No. No.
それじゃ。
It really is good, though. The OST is fucking great. Why do I feel like everything's about to change? Why does this music just give me the feeling that, like, we're about to enter a completely different fucking arc shift and it's about to get fucking dark as fuck? Or it's about to get really, really fucking tense coming up. I might be completely wrong. I don't fucking know, man. But, like, the whole music and the shift and the arc, the tonality, the whole Lacan stuff, everything that's happening, it just feels as though all of a sudden we're about to, like, hit, like, some massive fucking shit and everything's about to, yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Ladies and gentlemen, holy fuck, dude, what a great episode. That's like a solid 9.989 fucking episode. That was fucking solid. Actually, no, that was a 9.99. That was almost a fucking 10. That was a 9.95. That was so fucking good, ladies and gentlemen. Like, legitimately, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, fuck, that was a good episode. That was a really good fucking episode. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say other than I feel like we're fucking cooking. I feel like we're fucking, like, we're going through miles and miles of shit. And it's good, man. Like, that's the type of shit that, like, we should be a part of, right? The type of talks and discussions that we should have in that regard. And that's what's fucking amazing. That's what's really, really fucking great. Overall, phenomenal fucking episode. Overall, yeah, overall, like, for me, I'm happy. I'm extremely happy with that. Holy shit. YouTube, practice some self-care. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. That whole ordeal.